For over 20 years, I've been in the world of caricature. I've been drawn 100 times by other artists, and I've had thousands of people sit down in front of me to get their sketch drawn. I've been to different states and different countries to draw caricatures, and after connecting with hundreds of artists, they all get asked the same handful of questions by their guests. And now I'm going to find out the truth. I'm Khryztof, and this is 7 Questions for a Sketch. Today we have Daniel Stieglitz, international award-winning artist from Germany. I met Daniel at ISKCON in Los Angeles and continued to hang out with him at Caricature in Austria. I love Daniel's magnetic personality and humility, his prolific work, and his classic but unique style. Here's some fun facts about Daniel. Daniel's been a part of an improv theater group for 20 years, which has helped him a lot in his private and working life, and influenced his way of drawing, thinking, and working. He likes to play guitar, piano, and drums. His last name Stieglitz is the German word for goldfinch. That's why you can find a goldfinch in some of his group compositions. He initially studied animation and filmmaking, and his graduate work from art school was a 45-minute feature. It's called Last Stop Toyland. He drew the storyboards for the Oscar-nominated film, The Bader-Meinhof Complex. Let's talk to Daniel and learn more. So welcome to the show, Daniel Stieglitz. Do you feel
Thanks
welcomed?
for having me. What a pleasure, what an honor.
So you're one of the, I was trying to find some information about Daniel Stieglitz's accolades this morning, and there's too many to count. You're a multiple nosy winner. So you're a very celebrated caricature artist. And I think what I appreciate about you, just to give you a compliment, is that you're a very modest person for as celebrated as you are in the caricature community.
You know, am I that much celebrated? I don't feel, it's just such a small bubble, that caricature bubble. And it's not even the international caricature bubble, but it's more the, let's call it Western caricature bubble. If you are on some of the Facebook competitions, there are some Facebook competitions, and there are caricature artists, brilliant artists that I've never heard of, and maybe they never heard of me or ISKA. So I think It's just a very small group of people, and within that small group of people, well, it's like, yes, so. But I think celebrated is not the right word. But if you win an award, the people at least know your name. And that's something funny.
Well, what's interesting is I had never known of you before, I've been doing caricatures for about 20 years. And I remember either you hosted a caricature barbecue, an ISKA caricature barbecue, and I was like, oh, Daniel Stieglitz, I have no idea who this person is. And it's interesting because, you do have, I hate to just keep like complimenting, but there is something that's very special about what you do. It's very unique, and you've created a style that is maybe similar to a couple other artists internationally, which is bound to happen. You could compare this person with this person. But I never was like, oh, Daniel Stieglitz, he's a grand master of caricatures. And then what you did the caricature barbecue, and I don't know, I think that, when I'm in there with like Jan Optebeck and Gav Hopper and these other guys, I'm just like, just shooting the breeze with them, and I'm just like, well, here's Daniel Stieglitz. I don't know who he is. I'm just going to shoot the breeze with him. And then when I met you at ISKA and I kind of saw the work that you were creating, I was like, oh my God, I think that I was shooting the breeze with someone that is, I think that maybe I owed you a little more respect than maybe I was giving you during the caricature barbecue for the, I don't even know the right word, but for the merit of like the pieces that you do, like the large collage pieces that you do. I mean, when you watch them be created, especially when I watched you at the ISCA conference, where it's all on a piece of paper as opposed to doing it on the iPad, you see this progression that's occurring and this intensity, and I don't know. It's just like I was like kind of a little starstruck because I was like, wow, there's this. He's doing this thing, this story. I'm going on and on, but it's very special what you do, especially seeing it in person because you're creating a story. You're composing when you're doing a piece of paper. You're composing it basically like on the spot, which is very impressive. And you're creating like fun caricatures. Sorry if I just went on forever.
Thank you for the nice words.
One more thing. Go ahead.
At those ISCA pieces, there is. I've did some now, and in half of them, I already had some kind of overall idea, some kind of structural. When you have that vertical space, you need to think vertical. So
Right.
I sometimes have a very rough kind of composition, like the first. My first ISCA piece was a kind of a tower. It was a wobbly tower out of people trying to grab the golden nose that hangs above them.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, vertical. What is vertical? A tower. Okay, let's build a tower out of those caricature artists.
Yeah.
And I think for me, part of the fun is not having the perfect result. I'm not so much result oriented. I am more process oriented. So I really enjoy being in that creative zone and just making stuff up and watching my hand creating and sometimes failing, and sometimes I think, fuck, that was the wrong stroke, but I try to, it's a bit like jazz music. There are no really wrong notes. If you play one wrong note, you can kind of make it right with the note you play afterwards.
Yeah.
So and it's a bit of the same with caricature. If you think, oh, that might have been the wrong nose, you can if you can balance it out somehow. If you, okay, so I need to make the eyes larger so the nose fits again, or I need to. So while doing, I produce many mistakes, but sometimes those are happy mistakes, and I just love that process of creating. I'm not the person that works on one face for days, so that's
Right.
not me. I'm not a cross-hatching 20 hours one face or rendering or painting. I want to be creative, and creative means producing. So that's what I enjoy, and that's why my group compositions are the way they are, because that's what I just enjoy. Yeah.
So do you save the group compositions? Well, you did that one for the city you grew up in, but other than that, do you do other than the conventions, do you find that you save the big group compositions for a special occasion, and then when you're doing caricatures on a weekly, daily basis, you're just doing one person? Is it like, I'm so used to drawing someone in 3 minutes, now I could work on this thing for 3 days?
Yes, my everyday life is drawing live at events. Most of the time for 3 or 4 hours. Sometimes it's 8 hours. but it's just single or couple or sometimes family drawings. And well, I'm paid very well for that, and I enjoy asking the people about their hobbies and trying to include the body situations. That's
Yeah.
what I think that's most of my practice in terms of bodies and vehicles and things and animals and everything comes from that life drawing experience and practice. You know, it's all about practice.
Right.
And and when I'm at those conventions, totally feel free. I feel much more free, and I feel not for me at home. I haven't done such a group composition yet. Just for me, I should. I really want to start with that. I'm thinking about maybe doing maybe a Star Wars group composition,
Yeah.
or Lord of the Rings, or many, or maybe the actual politicians of Germany at the moment, or a football team, or anything. So I think I could do it. I would love to do it here too, but the everyday job and family, and you know, you're in that everyday routine,
Yeah.
and that's what I enjoy so much about being at those conventions, being surrounded by all those great artists, and there's that excitement in the room and that creativity, and I can just do what I enjoy. Yes. And it's kind of exciting. So
Yeah.
when there's the blank page in front of me, and the start, and the no pre-sketch, but going directly with ink on paper, or sometimes I do some very rough compositional pre-sketches, but normally I try to not pre-sketch, and I love that excitement of failing, of being concentrated and trying to really stay focused and be in that moment.
What I think is really special is that you're a very you have a very great personality, like a very warm and like I want to be friends with Daniel Stieglitz kind of a personality. And then when I watch you draw, when I'm seeing you draw, it is this like laser focused. I'm in the moment. I'm Daniel Stieglitz, caricature artist. When
I know,
like
I look very angry. I know that
yeah,
I look
and
kind of that way.
and it's funny because
Yes.
like you do have this great when you're not drawing, you have this great like magnetism. And as soon as I didn't even meet you, I just saw you and I was like, this gentleman is magnetic in his personality. And then when you were working, I was like, yeah, very. And I was like, oh my God, I don't think Daniel likes me. I think that he's mad at me or something.
Anti-magnetic.
It was anti-magnetic. It was like, get away from me. So I was actually a little nervous to be having this conversation because we were talking. Well, I don't know. We were in Austria, and you had that intensity, this Daniel Stieglitz intensity in drawing, and I was like, oh, I mean, I don't know if that's Daniel Stieglitz intensity or maybe it's like animosity. Like, why is this? You know, on my caricature, you wrote Austrian of the Year, and I was like, is he being mean or is he being funny? I don't really know what's happening here. But now I'm glad it's all right.
Yeah, so I think it is. I'm really concentrated when I'm drawing, even if it's there is no need. Even for example, in Austria, it wasn't about any competition or anything.
Right.
But since I try to not do pre-sketches, when you pre-sketch, I think everything can be in a very lazy, or not lazy, but in a very comfortable situation. I'm sketching over, erasing. But when you try to draw without pre-sketch and you want it to be good, and I just tend to look very angry. And sometimes when I'm drawing live at a wedding or something, then I need to to just say, Daniel, you should at least try to smile a bit, because I know that I look a bit grumpy when I'm just concentrated. But it is when you're concentrated, it's kind of magic. Those 3 or 4 hours, they fly by like half an hour, and
Right.
it is kind of magic when you're in that creative zone. And well, yes, but that's me. And definitely there are uh, more personalities of me. When I take care of my kids, I
Yeah.
am the strict, don't do that, don't do that. I have the responsibility. And when I'm with my friends, and when we are no responsibility, I am definitely much more relaxed person.
Yeah.
And when I'm drawing, maybe I'm focused, depending on the job or the and what I'm drawing. And well, and when you're playing music, you're a different person. And when you're, you know, we all
Yeah.
play some kind of roles depending on the situation.
I think that's an excellent way to put it. So I'm going to ask you some commonly asked questions that I get from guests while I'm drawing them, and after these questions,
Okay.
we'll get back to talking about whatever we were just talking about. So the first question is,
Yes.
how many years have you been doing caricatures?
My first caricature gig was, I think, 12 years ago. But the question is, when did I start with caricature? So I started drawing when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and I love I'm not sure if you know Asterix. It's the
Hmm.
French comic book of that guy here, Asterix.
Ah, I've never heard of that. I'll have to look it
What?
up.
Okay, this is the
Oh,
main character,
yeah. I think that I've
and
seen that
that's I
before.
think a French version of it. And I love those comic books, and it's from a French artist. And I learned afterwards that he included many caricatures of real French politicians and singers. So I kind of was into caricature before I even knew the word or that those were caricatures. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started to kind of love and consume caricatures very early.
So when you were you had mentioned that you went to school for like film and animation. How did you transition from film and animation into doing what you're doing today?
Drawing comics, cartoon characters, that was my initial, let's say, my talent or my interest. So
Hmm.
all of my life, I was drawing comics. I was working or drawing for the school magazine. I was drawing caricatures of the teachers,
Yeah.
but I was always kind of interested in films and animation films. And so I kind of heard that there's that art school where you can learn how to do animation. So you can study animation. And I thought,
Yeah.
wow, that's the perfect combination of drawing and filmmaking.
Hmm.
And while being in that, doing those animation classes, I was simultaneously in the illustration class, because I was definitely a good illustrator or interested in illustration. I was one. I had already pretty good drawing skills, and I thought, when you do an animation film, you need to know about directing, you need
Right.
to know something about screenwriting and cutting and everything. So I was in the third class, and it was the film class, the filmmaking class, the
Right.
feature film, or the, how do you call it, with real people.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Right. Live action.
And yes, so I studied filmmaking and animation and illustration. And what kind of grabbed me most was filmmaking. I totally enjoyed having that idea, drawing the storyboards for my own film. I enjoyed screenwriting.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of, for that, during the studies, I kind of, yes, concentrated more in that direction.
Right.
And I did a graduation film and some films before, and they won some international awards. And I was on the direct way of maybe becoming a director.
Mm-hmm.
You know that some directors can draw pretty good. Have you seen the sketches of Ridley Scott, for example?
Oh, I'll have to look at those. Did he do ones for Alien, or
He does some
he
of the
just illustrates
storyboards.
regularly? Yeah.
I'm not sure if, yeah. So he's a pretty good illustrator, and there are many film directors that have a very visual way of thinking because they come from a kind of drawing background, and it helps when you think visually in terms of composition and what should happen in the frame. And
Right.
well, what was the question?
Well, I just
No,
I
let's
was
say
curious.
yes. Then kind of life happened. There were some tragic illnesses and everything, and
Okay.
some filmmaking doors closed again. And
Okay.
then 12, 13 years ago, someone asked me, would you draw at a wedding? We pay you $300 and you have to draw all 100 people. And I said, what? 300? That's
You were like, that's a
amazing.
jackpot. You were like, I won the lottery.
Yes. And so that was my first live gig. I'm not sure exactly when it was, 12 or 13 or 14 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it so much. And I had that very special moment when drawings that I hated, you know, when you say, oh, fuck, that was a completely mess. And you show it and the people go, wow, that's totally me. And you think, what? And on the other hand, when I thought, this is a great caricature, here you go. And what? I don't have that. Do I look like this? The double chin? No, no. And so I had the impression on that first live gig that you will never make everyone happy, and you don't get the humor of everyone, but you are, even if you're, there's a saying in Germany, even if you're one-eyed, you are the king of the blind.
Yeah.
You know that saying? So something like that. And I definitely, back then I could draw, but in terms of caricature, I was definitely only one-eyed. But the people liked it. And I heard this is a real job perspective, not drawing on the street, but being booked, being paid for the evening. That means someone doesn't like his drawing. Okay, throw it away. I don't care. Next one.
Yeah.
So without the pressure of pleasing that person in front of you because he's going to pay you.
Yeah. So the next question I get is this your real job or is it just a hobby?
No, it is my real job. So I see myself as an illustrator, and for a very long time, that's why it needed so long. I earned very good money with doing live caricatures, but there was that part of me that still said, Daniel, you are a director. You should work on your movie career.
Right, right.
And that storytelling ambition that burns inside of me, that I'm not sure, it just didn't have enough space to grow in that drawing caricatures, because you're not only drawing heads most of the time. But I found ways in terms of that body situations, and I tried to include storytelling within that one drawing within that 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I more and more loved that job, and I took it more and more serious, and then I found that caricature community, and then I was at my first Eurocature, and then I went to the ISCA, and I thought,
Yeah.
fuck, this is a great job, and those people are so nice. Maybe you should be true to yourself, and you are a caricature artist, and maybe you will never do a film again in your life. And so I earn 80% of my money with live caricatures and commissions, and there are 20 to 30% with illustration. I do children books, and I do those whiteboard animations for the German television,
Cool.
and sometimes for advertising. And so I'm a bit broader,
Yeah.
but that's my job. Yes, I would say an illustrator. I would say I'm not a caricaturist. I'm an illustrator, and I use that caricature tool very often. Yeah.
So I know you use Procreate or something similar and brush pens. Do you do any other kind of
Yes.
art?
You mean f-
Maybe other
personal art?
mediums, perhaps? Mediums beyond the special brush pens and the iPad?
No. Well, sometimes I use watercolor,
Okay.
and very few times I paint with acrylics. But that really turned to a hobby, and
Yeah.
I would love to engage more in actual painting, but right now it is kind of on the to-do list. So most of the time I love to draw with ink
Yeah.
and on the iPad, because the
Yeah.
iPad took all my fear about color, and now I feel much more comfortable with color, but I didn't really have time to kind of transform it on paper.
Yeah. You were talking about color and how the iPad kind of gives you more freedom. You use usually in your sketches maybe one or two colors, it's very minimal. Like two colors at the most is the most I've seen you do. At least, no, actually, well, yeah. So even in the Keanu Reeves one that you recently presented for the World Humor Awards, I mean, you had some just black and red and maybe a little bit of gray. So
Yes, yes.
is it a choice to do such few colors? Is it like I want to make something dynamic by doing it this way, or you just not comfortable with the fully rendered oil paint look that some people go for? What is your approach when you use color?
I'm Overall, I'm not the color guy. I am the drawing guy. I am the black and white guy.
Yeah,
So this is, and I think I love color drawings and paintings and everything. But what interests me most is that is the making choices and being creative. And I think when I think that's maybe not true, and maybe I'm hurting the color guys right now, but I think that rendering, you can be very creative in color, and you're making decisions while rendering too, 100%. But I'm stuck in the same phase again, and I want to be creative again. So that means my color work is most of the time a very quick one. I want to get quick results, and
yeah,
I'm experimenting with color. And the iPad, as I said, helped me with losing that fear of using color. It's so easy to do it on a different layer and just turn it off and make it lighter. And so the iPad helped me with the use of color, and I got, I think, better and better. But if you ask me, I feel most comfortable with black and white. So I
right.
wouldn't need to use any color. And if I use color, I sometimes use it only for graphic reasons, or compositional reasons, or to make some highlights or some
Shadows.
structural
Yeah,
dots where you should look at it.
Yeah.
But I think this is something I would love to engage maybe more later. I would love to start maybe painting on a canvas, and maybe this I would change my behavior of needing to draw, but relax and enjoy that Bob Ross painting and adding some happy little clouds and adding some happy little trees. So that's not my world yet, but maybe someday.
So do people ever get mad when they see your sketch? Do you have a story about someone getting mad, maybe?
No, not too much. I am, I think there are, you have to, the words. I think you have to separate, kind of, or you have to, what's the word? On the one hand, there are the retail artists, and on the other hand, there are that gig artists. And I think there's a big difference within those two artists. When you do gigs, I get paid not for being crazy, but I'm paid for making the guests at a wedding or at a trade exhibition, I'm paid for making them happy. Because only when they are happy, then my client is happy. And sometimes there's an agency above. So sometimes I have many bosses. But there are people and I ask the people, do you want a spicy version or you want a lame version? And my spicy versions are a bit more exaggerated, but I don't want it in my job. It doesn't make any sense to insult someone or to make someone angry, because I will get the problems afterwards. So even when I have the feeling that the guy in front of me is really, really has a good humor and he's maybe half drunk, and I can really go mad, and I do spicy drawings. But before that, I ask. I think you're a funny guy. Can I go crazy? Oh, sure. Yeah, sure. Do whatever you like. Can I really go crazy? Okay, yeah, do whatever you like. And when you have people surrounding and they start to laugh at your drawing while you do it, and you are kind of safe, because when they love it, he has to love it. And if he doesn't love it and he leaves it on the table, so I think that's the worst thing. The one that doesn't take his drawing, or he just I think someone tore it apart one time. So that it was a lady, and she had those real inflated lips, and I drew inflated lips, and she had no humor, and she was maybe 50 and felt like 30, but she was 50, and but no one ever punched my face or anything. So because
I have two more questions.
A tame caricature artist. Oh,
we got two more. We have 4 minutes. 4 minutes till Zoom shuts us down. Have you drawn anyone famous? That's what people ask. I guess it's, have you ever drawn anyone famous live?
Yes. I've drawn some famous German guys. I've drawn the Chancellor Merkel 2 times.
In person?
I've drawn, yes, in person. And I've drawn some famous German cooks, some TV cooks, and some musicians, because I'm sometimes invited at parties where there are famous guys. Internationally, I drew Heidi Klum.
Ooh.
But not live. It was a commission, and someone brought it to her. I think she had her birthday. Was she 45, 50? I think she had her birthday a few years ago, and it was a present for her.
Yeah.
And yes.
So last question. People ask this one, and I never really know what it means, but it's what is the craziest caricature that you've ever drawn? And I think that maybe you could say it from maybe a content point of view or a outs maybe the least Daniel Stieglitz way of doing a caricature.
Yes, there was a guy, a very old guy, a very old guy. He was like the oldest guy at the wedding.
Yeah.
It was the great grandfather of someone, but he was so funny, but he looked like 120, and he had such a good humor. And when I drew him, I only drew the gravestone
All
and
right,
it asked
that's
him
good,
about his
man. That's
name,
good,
and I put
Daniel.
his name on it, and everyone found it so funny because he had such a good humor, and they made fun of him being so old and dying soon. Where there was some kind of, or he will never die. And I added the the date of death in the very future, so that this is
Oh,
the
okay.
gravestone that he will die 2030 or something like that. Yes.
Yeah. That's pretty good, Daniel. I like that one. So, we have about
Yeah,
a
that was
minute.
fun, and everyone enjoyed it.
What was I gonna say? Or do you have any plans to go to a ISCA convention or Eurocature or Koska or Grand Prix this year?
Yes, I definitely booked the ISCA convention in November, so I will be definitely there if they let me in. I've
Okay.
drawn some Trump caricatures, and if they check
Oh
my
yeah.
social media, maybe I get into a detention center or something
Oh
like that.
no! I'll try and break you out.
And uh, and I'm planning on attending the Grand Prix next year in Japan. So
Yeah.
I contacted Kage, and he said in the next days they will be open for submissions. So I want to go there again and maybe have a bit more time to enjoy Japan and maybe some other cities, not only Tokyo.
So if
Yeah.
so I booked my ticket to Japan. So what we have to do is if I don't make it to ISCA, we have to have some sushi perhaps and a kampai of sake.
Yes. You booked your tickets already?
Well, I was really anxious. I was like, I have to book a ticket, a plane ticket. And I was like, I have to go, I have to go. And so I just booked a plane ticket.
Ah, okay. It is in January or February, something like
Yeah, it's
that,
in
isn't it?
February. Yeah, I'm jumping the gun. I also got a room in a hostel that's like right across from where the thing is, the ballroom or whatever the place. So I was like, oh, I better get on
Ah,
this.
okay. Ah, okay.
And it
Great.
was only it
Wow.
was only like $25 a night. So I was like, oh, this is great. I just sleep in a bed. At the last conventions, I barely slept. So it's like, do I even really need to have an expensive hotel?
Definitely. Definitely. And it's not about it's about the nights where the magic happens, when the people
It
start to
is.
sing and the party is going. Yes.
So,
Wow, great. So we'll meet in November and in February.
yeah, it's gonna be great.
I'm pretty sure that we in Germany, not only are um, we are the nation without any humor. That's what the people say. So I'm very sure that we are a bit more ingoing, not that much outgoing as maybe the Americans. And we don't have a real caricature culture. When you're talking caricature to people on the streets, they think about political cartoons. So, because in Germany that's the same word. We don't have
Right,
the word political cartoon. We call it caricature.
right.
So
Okay.
the Hitler and Stalin and all those guys in the history books, those caricatures, that's what the people have in their mind, or in the newspaper with Trump and Biden and everything. Um, but we don't have any caricature artists at theme parks. We don't have any caricature artists at waterfronts. We don't have any caricature artists on the streets. The weather is just too bad in Germany.
Right, right,
So the alive caricature artists in Europe is in Paris and in Prague and maybe in the on the coast of Spain.
right.
But in Germany, it is completely there's no culture. That means, and that's one of the reasons why I usually draw with my handbrake on. Now with TikTok and with the Hawaiian crazy guys,
Hmm.
the some people, the younger ones, they know what caricature can do. They see that poppy, cartoony stuff. 5 years ago, no one knew about that stuff if you were in Germany. So maybe it is slowly changing through social media and with the big success of some of the caricature artists, especially the Hawaiians, because
Yeah.
most of the, I think Alani, for example, that is
Hmm.
famous on social media, but
Yeah.
he draws tame caricatures.
Yeah.
And there's an Italian guy, Federico Cecchin,
Federico, yeah.
and he draws but pretty tame caricatures too. So the crazy caricatures, from Hawaii. And well, it could change, but I'm 100% with Chance, and I think the Germans are not used to caricature. They want a portrait like bit funny. So, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So this is not related to caricatures at all. It's just a curiosity. So you live the city you live in is Kassel, right? Is that how you say it?
Yes,
So I looked on a map. Kassel is like directly in the middle of Germany, which is basically in the middle
correct.
of Europe. Is that like a strategic location so that you could go to a bunch of different places for gigs and stuff? Or how did you end up in the center of
It
Germany?
is actually 100% perfect for me. Yes, you're right. It's 100% perfect. But I went to Kassel for studying film and animation, so there was never the plan of traveling through Germany or through Europe. So it is really perfect. Within 3 hours, you are in Hamburg, you're in Berlin, you're in Frankfurt, you're in Munich, and it's perfect for me because I can travel. I travel with the German train
Hmm.
whenever it's possible. And yes, as I said, in 3 hours you're in nearly every corner of Germany, and I totally enjoy that. And I live, let's say, 10 minutes from the train station, so I can leave my house at 8 and hop in the train at 8:30, and I'm in Berlin at 11. That's
That's
perfect.
perfect.
Yeah,
It doesn't get better
yeah.
than that. I was like wondering because I wanted to see like where you lived, and I was like, I wonder if this is a strategy, but it just happened to be perfect.
It just happened. Yes.
So I think that I mean, I'm not a golden nosy winner myself, but we have a very similar kind of background, because I wanted to be in film and animation, and I kind of tried to take these different routes to try and get there. And I, once I kind of was able to um become a part of the greater caricature culture, I mean, I've only gone to the two conventions, just last year's ISCA and Eurocature, but it's when you get into this environment, when you kind of like meet the people that when you're able to meet real people that are like making this their life, it's it makes you like super locked in. It's like I feel like I can never go back to like anything else. It's like it's just,
Hmm.
and like you said, like it's just incremental. I went to the convention in Los Angeles, and then I just kept thinking of like different ideas. I was like, what would Hatomi do? What would Daniel do? What would Ash do? I'm looking at these different people, and I'm like, I would love to create like a big, tall thing, and in my mind, it's like, how do I do this and make it by me, like not be influenced by other people that are making tall pieces, but not be like, oh, I'm stealing. You know what I mean? It's like, how do I make myself original, and just have fun with it, and I've been thinking about that like over the last couple of months, it's just like, how do I do this? I really love your idea. This is just ranting, but I liked your idea where you like had a question. You ask everybody a question, you put like a little bubble.
Hmm.
When Ash did her caricature, she would have someone drawing a caricature, and someone they would have it like a guy drew black and white caricatures, and so she would have a caricature above it being drawn in black and white, and then another
Yes,
person would be
yes, yes, yes,
doing
yes, 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 yes.
abstract, and she would have it do that. And it's like, when you think about how you could do that conceptually, you're just like, oh man, like it makes you kind of, I don't know, it's making me like inspired to like not just, I
Hmm.
have this love of talking to other artists and talking to other people while I'm drawing. And I think that my goal is, when you go to a convention, I want to sit down and have a conversation with everybody, but at the same time, you're like, but wouldn't it be fun if you just did like a mural of, you know, caricature faces? Or so anyway, that's just on my mind. But yeah,
You know, for me, yes, for me it is a the what I do every day, like you.
mhm,
When we do caricatures, we need 5 minutes for a person, maybe 10,
yeah,
correct?
that's correct.
So, and you're producing like 50 caricatures a day,
Yeah, on a
maybe
good day.
100, maybe 30, but
Yeah.
about around that. And when I first went to a caricature convention, why should I start doing 3 persons in 3 days? I
Right,
am not a studio artist. I never was a painting. Some studio artists they need a day or many for 1 person, and then it's beautifully rendered and painted and everything, and you can
yeah,
it feels so three-dimensional that you think you can touch it. But my thing is draw 50 people on a day.
right,
That
right.
means it was a kind of a natural thing to say, let me do my stuff and I'm going to 50 every day. I didn't do that because give me 10 minutes or give me 15 minutes per person, it will be much better. So I only need to do 20 or 30 a day. And so it's just what I do every day, just not on single papers, but on one paper.
Just
And
on
I
separate
think
pieces of paper.
yes. So I would recommend you, if you love to do this, I would just recommend to just try it out. And this is the most fun to. That's why I had this strange, gigantic board because I wanted to be mobile. I didn't on my first ISCA, I glued the paper on the wall.
Right, right.
So that meant I was always stuck to
You're stuck
that
at the wall.
wall. And
Yeah,
whenever there was a workshop I attended, but I wanted to sketch, and I
right.
couldn't go around that much, and I couldn't do the conversations that much because I my working space was on that very wall, and
Yeah.
I thought, oh, I want to do the group composition again, but I want to be mobile, and that's why I invented that big board, and maybe you build something like that too, and you can
I
have both. You
know.
can have those conversations that you love to have, and you
Yeah.
can wander around with that big piece of paper, and then you just do a sketch of everyone, and maybe there will be some kind of interaction and idea that connects the single drawing to one bigger thing. And I think there are many ways of getting that connection. That's what it's about. It's not about drawing 100 people, but
Yeah.
to find a way of making it one piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you put it brilliantly. Yeah, you inspired that. I'm inspired now. Now I'm really fired up, Daniel. So, do you have any caricature goals for the future? Do you have any plans for conventions? And what are your handles on the internet?
Well, I'm still not happy with when I see what others do at the conventions. I think I can still improve my likeness. I can improve my exaggerations. I can improve my work with color. I can improve so much. So I'm still on the way of getting better and better and better. So this is overall my goal. I'm still learning. I am thinking about maybe doing some kind of remote classes. I'm thinking about doing a caricature class, but not as a book, but as some ready-made videos.
Nice.
I have some plans. I wrote some stuff down, and I start.
Daniel, I have to leave you.
Just try it.
I don't have to leave you, but I'm choosing to let you go about your day or evening. But do you want to tell me, for the audience, how they could find you if they wanted to book you for an event or anything like that?
You can find me here on my desk in Germany, in Kassel. No, I'm usually. You can find me on Instagram, Daniel, and then the complicated name Stieglitz.
Stieglitz.
It's that bird. I told you.
The goldfinch.
Is goldfinch.
I love it.
Stieglitz and goldfinch is the same. And yes, so you can find me on all those social media platforms, and most of the clients write me an email via my homepage. But it's much more complicated. It's caricature artist Stieglitz.
Yeah. Thank you for taking out time today. I really appreciate it. And
thank you too. It was a pleasure.
All right.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye. Wow. Wasn't it great to hear from Daniel? What a great guy. Man, that guy's super funny and super cool and very smart. Now's the time in our show where we do the side-by-side, time-lapse, big reveal. I drew Daniel, Daniel drew me. Let's take a look and see what it looks like. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.